Quick note about today's video. Even though I wasn't feeling well, I should have filmed more content than I did. We'll use that as goals for next time. And so it begins, heading out the Iron Mountain Trail Race. So here's the idea. A couple weeks ago I sprained my LCL. I've been rehabbing it on my own pretty well. We're gonna go up to this trail race and we're just gonna see how it goes. The Iron Mountain Trail Run is a USA Track and Field sanctioned ultra marathon. It has distance options of 16 miles, 30 miles, and 50 miles. After leaving more than an hour later than I had planned to, I quickly ran into major traffic issues. I guess with it being Friday and the holiday weekend, everyone was trying to get off work early as well. However, once I was through Knoxville, it was pretty smooth sailing. The downside was what should have taken 3 hours is now taking 5.5 hours.
I have 0 signal.
Poor Pat. As soon as I got there, he told me they had absolutely no signal. From that point, we went out to check out and find the hostel. We found that it was small, but it was going to meet our needs absolutely perfectly. It was now time to go find something to eat. We were given the advice to go find a place called Mojo's, so we drove through the town and admired all the fog that was rolling in. Unfortunately, when we got to Mojo's, there was a sign on the door that explained that they were no longer open for dinner. Still needing somewhere to eat, I decided to take Pat to the same pizza parlor that I ate in 2012. Lucky for us, there was still 30 minutes left on the buffet, and they promised us that they'd bring out new and fresh pizza. After a good night's sleep and breakfast at the hostel, we packed up all of our stuff and walked down to the start line. We got there just in time for the race briefing, where he told us not to make any sharp turns because trains don't make sharp turns. After a nonchalant start, like most ultramarathons have, we ran over a couple of trestled bridges, made our first turn, hit our first incline, and eventually made it to the first aid station at around 5 miles. Four and 3/4 miles in, we hit our first incline. Feels good to be walking. We feel good this morning. Still humid. We're liking it. Trail starts. Just entered onto the trail. It's a cool morning, but boy, it's humid. The trail's a little wet. Hoping to have fun. So we started climbing. Humidity's even worse in here. Pat's back there. What's up, Pat? So certainly not humid at all. After a couple of brutal climbs, we made our way into Aid Station 2. It was certainly a welcome scene to see people that I know and to have a well-stocked aid station. A lot happened between aid station 2 and aid station 3 that I didn't get on camera. Around mile 8, my right heel started burning. I ran a finger inside my sock to clear out any dirt, but at aid station 3, Skulls Gap, I had to do some pretty major wrapping due to a pretty big blister. My stomach and tailwinds was still doing okay, but my dehydration was right on the very edge of being dangerous. 23 miles, almost 24 miles, about 20 minutes ahead of the cutoff. Two things. One, I'm tired. Two, Jamie will be pissed. Here we go. And that was all the race footage I got for the day. The next section contained lots of climbing and an eventual descent into what would be my final aid station. At that point I was walking downhill and my heart rate was very elevated to the level that I was no longer comfortable with. I ended up sitting down for the next 10 minutes and could not get my heart rate to recover, so I ended up throwing in the towel for the day. Later that evening, after everyone finished, we all just hung out on the front porch and encouraged other runners as they finished their races. It was great catching up and hanging out with old friends. I thoroughly enjoyed this race, and it was definitely as hard as the race director said it was. The takeaways from this race is to go out easy and save some for the rest. We'll see you again next year, Iron Mountain.